Good morning and happy new year. It is 9:51 a.m. on Saturday, January 1st, 2022. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I had a pretty good New Year's Eve yesterday as far as these things go. Like no party or anything. Mostly what I did yesterday is, let's see, I played a bunch more of Unsighted, which is a video game that I'm playing on Nintendo Switch. It's kind of an isometric Metroidvania sort of game. It's a lot of fun. One note about that one, there is a sort of, without getting too much into the story of it, there is a ticking clock on all the characters in that game in a way that forces you to kind of pick and choose between them, or else some of them will die. Well, some of the NPCs. But there's also an option where you can turn that off, which I did, just because I think it's an interesting idea to put kind of a tension and a stress into the story in that way. But the problem is that I find the game, um, like it's not super hard, but it's hard enough that every time I die, feeling like I'm also letting down the NPCs. It's one thing if it was just story, but when it makes me feel stressed about every time that I miss a parry and die and have to start a section over again. Um, yeah, that was a little too much for me. So I'm having a lot of fun with the game without that part. And then I also watched more of The Witcher season 2, which I'm enjoying. Although it's interesting watching that fresh off of finishing season 1 of Wheel of Time, just because the stories don't overlap that much, but there's a tonal quality that's feels familiar watching the two shows back to back. I have one episode left of season 2, but enjoying it. Um, and then what else did I do? Oh, I did a bunch more of my editorial pass that I mentioned for writing activity, even if it's technically editing. But I found a couple, some of the issues that had been kind of bothering me about that current work. I feel like I finally have a good feeling about a way to move forward from that. So at least enough to kind of do that. So I'm going through it on this pass to get that more in a position where I'm going to feel good, like maybe sending that out while I work on the next thing, instead of just feeling forever like this thing is just on the shelf, and yeah, that's good. And so I'm excited to be moving forward into this new year. I'm not big on resolutions. That's just not my thing. I've always kind of felt like I don't want to take the power of resolutions away from anybody else, but I've just sort of always felt that like the changing of the date is kind of arbitrary, right? And so I don't, it's not like I just disdain the entire tradition. It's just more like if you're really going to resolve to do something, why do you have to wait for a specific day? You don't, is the answer. But your mileage may vary. Shoot, I did another. What else did I do? Oh well, you know what? I'll just go ahead and wrap it up with. I decided to spend the actual midnight taking Rocket outside, and I had to take him outside to pee before bed anyway. And so, but I just kind of decided that it was meaningful to me personally to spend that midnight focusing on Rocket, who I care about very much, and being outside. And yeah, I don't know. Like it's the meaning's not deep. I just I felt like those two elements of focus felt good to me in that moment. So in the meantime, tonight we should be returning to our So Many Levels stream. Normally on Saturdays we're playing Root, but tonight the plan is that we're playing Tales from the Loop, which is a neat sort of it's not it's kind of science fiction-y, alternate, slight recent past as opposed to like medieval times. Weird technology sci-fi game that Nobilis is going to run, and I'm excited for that. So that'll be at 7 p.m. tonight if you want to check it out on the Twitch stream. But in the meantime, I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.